about. And it's Celts. And it is Celts. Chat off is a wise idea, Mr. Whoever. We are going into game 3 then with Viper up 2-0. And I don't know if you guys expected this. Honestly, I thought the Viper would lose game 1. I thought Lojza would win game 2. And here we have it. Viper is up 2-0. It is Celts for game 3. Lojza needs this game, and he needs it bad. Viper, he's doing very well. He's doing very well, so it'll be interesting to see how he does this game and how Lojza does this game as well. Potentially a pause here. Well, it is a pause. I will still introduce the map. So let's start with Lojza this time. I feel like we need to give Lojza a little bit of luck by introducing him first. Maybe that will help him out. I don't know. Who knows? So Lojza's map here, both players are obviously playing as the Celts. He has his main gold on the left-hand side on the back of his map, which is really nice. Also, he has a lot of space back here as well with another gold, build TCs and such, which is going to be very good for him. Below his TC, he has another stone. He also has a gold in his map, and that's about it for him. A little bit of stone on the outside of his maps, but what he has is enough, surely, to get a good boom on, which is what we see as Celts. Now, he has one relic here. Very fortunate. Also, actually, those are sheep, so the other relics seem to be out here on the right-hand side of his map. And the other two are right next to Viper's walls, which actually, more fortunate for Viper, seeing as he has two that are pretty much free. Now, for Viper's map, what does he have going on? It looks like gold in the back for him as well. Not to mention gold and stone in the back and space for him. Both maps seem to be pretty good for booming. I like it an awful lot for booming, and both players will probably be doing that. However, I did say in game 1, I thought one player would boom and one player would be aggressive, and I got it completely wrong. And it worked out, actually, for the player that I was wrong about. So who knows? We have stone for here for Viper. Horrible deer. Boars there as well. Not able to be lamed. I didn't look at the boars for Lojza, but we probably should do that because laming is an option. And his boars seem to be safe as well. Deer's definitely horrible for players of this quality. And that's about it, guys. Relics, 2 for Viper, pretty much free in my opinion. Other 2 out here, kind of depends on if they're scouted, honestly. They're right up against the edge of the map. And that's about it, guys, for the early game now as Celts. You will see, like I said, a lot of... Liz is talking about apparently some connection issues. You see a lot of booming, and I think the best approach is to do that. However, since it's a mirrored matchup, I think we could actually see some Siege Workshop and some Knights. Of course, Monks could come out as well to convert those Knights. But we have seen many times for players to go aggressive with Mangonels, try and batter down the walls, or just get some map control. In this case, looking at the players' maps, it's probably not going to be a good, wise choice, just because there's really no front resources. Oh, we have a scout conflict again! I think this time around, Viper's actually going to lose this one if he doesn't go back. Yeah, and he should be going back. Just looking at the HP, he was going to lose that one. And he is wise to go back there. I always freak out when I hear a boar being attacked and it's not on my screen. I feel like it's a lame. Even though I saw those scouts being attacked, it's like, oh, lame! But no, it wasn't a lame, obviously. Viper almost losing another villager. I don't know if it was what happened last time in game 1. I kind of forget the circumstances, but I do feel as though he lost the villager when he was having a scout conflict. So I don't know if Lojza is trying to time that out or what. I'm just going to check him as well. Does he have any weak vills? Yeah, not near as bad, that's for sure. So both players, similar builds, I assume. They could easily get up on 24-25 as Celts because they do have the wood bonus. Going to bring in this boar now is Lojza, and well done, look at that. Not taking many hits at all. Standard stuff for these guys, really. If you have a good map like this, you can kind of do really anything you want. You can boom up, but also if you have a safe map, you can maybe afford to go aggressive. And at this point, it's hard to really say. We just kind of hang out and wait. I am interested to see that we haven't seen any deer lured in from Viper. You notice Lojza is now luring in his deer. While Viper... Oh, there you go. He's going to do that now. So maybe he's just waited till his boar is almost completed. he's going to actually complete that in a moment's time, and then he's going to lure in his deer. Someone had asked why Voice did not follow into Viper's base with his scout, and I think the answer to that is, had he done that, Viper could have easily pulled a villager off and then killed Lojza's scout. Also, Lojza could never leave the base, and because monks will probably be coming out, these scouts are really important to pick off those monks, and not also that, but the scouting information is always huge in Age of Empires. You need to have the scout to see if enemy does have any buildings out here and what they are doing. So it doesn't matter the HP on the scout. It's just too big of a risk to run inside your enemy base. However, sometimes, in some cases, I do like to see players run inside the enemy base if they get the opportunity, and then get scouting information on the base itself. So it does depend on the situation. If they were able to see what resource they're on, what gold or stone or how many villagers they have, it can be really beneficial. In this case, though, it's pretty much assumed what each player is going to do. It's not going to really help. There must be a pause right now, so. I forget the situation, but of course if it was, I guess you could say Spanish, for example, if it would be probably worth it to go into Spanish player's base. Just to, it's all situational, but just for an example, you could go into Spanish player's base if you have a huge advantage in HP and see if they are on stone heavily, and you could see if they're going to be on enough stone to get a castle out early. That way you could know if they're going to be getting conquistadors early, or if they're maybe just going to go onto monks and boom up a little bit. That's just the best example I can think of. But now it looks like Lojza's clicked up, and he has gone on 25 villagers while Viper is doing the same, and he's actually a bit behind. That's interesting. He's gone up. Wow, I don't understand why there's such a difference in times there from Viper. If you look at that, they've gone up on the same amount of villagers. No units have died, so no player has actually lost a vill. Viper is a bit behind. Not a big deal, though. Not a big deal. We've seen this before. Viper lost a villager, he won the game. Doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but either way, Scout, luring in this last year, Viper's going to be fine with resources. I think now Lojza is going to be okay as well. They're talking about this being laggy a bit. I don't know if they are going to restore, but that's what they're discussing. And it looks like Lojza is going to build his market and blacksmith. So the thing is if there is lag, both players are actually playing in the lag. So it's not like one player is suffering from it, or yeah, okay, they're restoring. Let me just double check. Yeah, they're restoring it, guys. So we're going to have to hang out for a little bit while Viper switches his internet. And I guess since the question was posed in the chat, I wasn't going to answer it while the game was going on. But someone had asked, what would I suggest counting conquistadors with? I would say more conquistadors is probably the best choice. If you go, the thing is if you look at the tech tree, right? Someone say, how do you counter cav archers, right? And you look at the tech tree and you will see that skirms counter an archer unit. If you're a new player, you're immediately, the moment you see a cav archer, you're just going to do everything you can to make a skirm. But that's not, you have to figure in how expensive these units are. And so if the units are expensive, and how much they cost, and how many units you need to counter that particular unit, it could be a problem. So skirms for conquistadors are good in mass, but you actually need a fair amount of them, and the upgrade to elite skirm plus needing probably +2 as well is very costly. So it's much easier just to get your own conquistadors, or just go with a couple monks. But monks are hard as well. Monks have 9 range, conquistadors have 6 range, so that's why it is sometimes, if you're paying attention, easier to just get conversions. But that's the logic on that. You have to pay attention to how expensive things are and how feasible it is. Alright, so Viper had to switch his internet. MBL, do you want to join? Are you freed up now? But of course, saying more conquistadors in that situation is... You can't just say, okay, get more conquistadors if you don't even have a castle. You have to defend it right then. So the best thing to do is just go monks. Yeah, I don't know how that works. I don't know how Viper has different internets, to be honest. Yeah, no problem, MBL. It's cool. Alright, I'm going to turn the music off. Just on the off chance that we could be muting my stream for some reason on the recording. We have then 60 seconds around until the game's restored, so we're going to have to catch up a little bit. Hopefully it's not muted, then I'll just upload all the past little break we took to YouTube for everybody. I feel like that's always on my mind, but it is important. I should probably stop mentioning it though, because you guys probably get annoyed. So we got 50 seconds. These guys are about to get up to the castle age and start doing some harm, or just booming. And here we go. We're back in the game now. Okay, we're back in the game. So, Market Blacksmith then for Viper. Market Blacksmith for Lojza. Hopefully the internet's a little bit better, because Lojza seemed to be dissatisfied with it. He's also down 2-0, so we don't want any excuses for him. Viper is going up, I think, with... No, he's actually still a little bit behind here. Lojza is going up on 1230, and Viper is going to be a bit behind with the same amount of villagers. But either way, let's take a look at the builds. We have a lot on wood then for Viper. He's probably going to transition all these sheep villagers over to wood as well. It's kind of standard to have this many on the wood, though. I mean, this much wood collected. Awful lot of wood's going to come in as Celts, especially at this level. They're, of course, balancing their eco out quite a bit. They could easily go for the Monastery 2 TCs right away. Don't know what their play is. Of course, Lojza does have one free relic. He does need to go for that right away. Let's look at his scouting. He's actually, I think, just finding this right now. Look at that. Look at that. He's finding that right now. Meanwhile, Viper, look at his scouting. He's pretty much perfect. He's perfect with his scouting, so he does see all the relics. With the exception, of course, of the stuff inside Lojza's base. That's good for him. 4 on gold for Viper. Meanwhile, for Lojza, taking a look, he has 3. No huge differences. I actually think Lojza went out to gold a little bit earlier as well. That could be the difference there. But like I said, we could definitely see a Siege Workshop up a little bit earlier from one of these players, and just trying to apply some pressure. But if you look, there's nothing on the front here for Viper to really apply pressure to, and the same goes for Lojza. It's all on the back. PC for Lojza. Is he going for another one? I really want to pay attention to this. Going for the Monastery. He could definitely do it. Look at his wood. He could definitely go for it. I assume he will be putting... Yeah, right here. Safe option. Safe option. Yes, right there. Now, for Viper, he's just now up as well. Going for the Monastery. Expected. TCs expected. Boomy game. Boomy game. So Celts v Celts. What is it in the Imperial Age? It's not Rams. It's not Siege Onagers. It's most likely going to be Woads and Trebs, because if you do go Rams and Siege Onagers, the Woads are able to pick them off quite easily. Who do you favor? Well, it's hard to say. We have a long way so we can have that conversation. It's about getting up to the next stage, getting the castles up, and getting the production and upgrades. And while it's easy to say that, it's not easy to do. Everything adds up. Lojza's going for Wheelbarrow right now. Viper... He's gotten his TCs up. He seems to have a lot of food. He could go for Wheelbarrow, but sometimes players like to delay it. His TC's actually a little bit idle. He's good now. So I'll be interested to see if players go up to 4 TCs here. Sometimes you will see that, and I think Viper will, seeing as he's going over to stone now. Will Lojza, is he on stone? He easily could go over to stone. Actually, I think he's just purchased it. He's definitely purchased it, and look at this, he's going over here now. Uh-oh. Lojza, be careful. You got a wolf, you got a woodland creature coming into your base to attack your man, and you better pay attention. Alright, he's gonna be safe. Just making sure, Lojza. Yeah, you guys don't get loomed, so you gotta be careful with the wolves. Sometimes you'll find like a pack of wolves. But in that case, Lojza had a lot of villagers bunched up, and he was fine. So let's pay attention now to when Viper's going up to his next TC. Sometimes it can hurt you to go up to the next TC so early, you can't keep them all running. But I think, actually, Lojza, if you look at his food, he's just barely going to be able to. It'll be a little bit rough to start. I think he's going to be okay. Viper's just not getting wheelbarrow. He seems to be a little bit behind. Who knows? I really do not know. Viper's going over to his TC. It just looks like Viper's behind. However, the villager count is not a lot in it. The relics we will need to pay attention to. Viper now, Lojza has 1. Viper has 2. Is he sending out the monks? He is. He has 3 monks as well. He really likes to get these relics. And he's going to perform what we like to call on this channel a relic train. And Lojza's coming in for his own relic train. Keep in mind that the monks cannot convert each other. Well, Lojza's probably going to get that monk from Viper. Oh, and he got the conversion too. Viper's got to drop these relics, drop it like it's hot, and get the conversions. And he's gonna get, is he gonna get 1? Is he gonna get 1? Oh no, are you kidding me? He was attacking the wrong scout, and now is he going? Lojza just made the play of his life. Oh my gosh, he got 2 monks and 2 more. Wait, I don't even know. What just happened? Dead bodies everywhere. I don't even remember how many that was, but that was amazing. Viper got there first, and he's gotten the 2 relics. Lojza, well played. That was a big deal. That was just timing there for Lojza. It worked out, and he still has a scout and two monks there with relics. Now is Viper going to come back in? I mean, he doesn't have anything left really to come back in after that with, and he should be fine here. Lojza is ahead. He's getting handcart in now. He already had the extra TC earlier. He's ahead in villagers, and getting handcart a little bit earlier, in my opinion, is probably a little bit better here. Viper will be getting that for sure. That was an interesting engagement to watch. And in a Celts War, there's not really many engagements in the Castle Age, to be honest, so that was probably a breath of fresh air for us. We will have to pay attention. I'm going to call it right now. We like to do this. We have, okay, all full HP villagers, but no loom for Lojza. These wolves, will they claim a life? I want you guys to give your predictions in the chat. Will they claim a life this game? We saw MBL get wrecked by some wolves when he was playing Viper. And we'll see if these wolves will claim a life later in this game. We'll have to pay attention. I will actually hotkey one of these villagers so we can pay attention to it. Thank you for the follow, by the way. I can't actually address all the follows like I always say, but thank you. Now, looking at the resources from Lojza, he's doing well. Viper, he's doing okay as well. In fact, I think he's going, is this an early castle? He is going with an early castle there on the stone. It's interesting. I wonder if he's going to not get up his second building and just go for the castle instead, and neglect to go for the siege workshop or university. Meanwhile, Lojza is going for a siege workshop right here. And maybe he was going to... Oh, wow, he has the monks here. We've seen Lojza do this before. He's won a couple monk battles before and try to get some conversions. He will do this, but what will he do when he gets conversions? Because I think Viper will definitely lose some villagers here. He's actually run the villagers back. It's some really interesting villager micro here from Viper. He hasn't lost a villager. Yeah, look at this. Oh, I did lose one there. And what's Lojza going to do? Well, I guess he's just going to try and delay the castle from going up. I would have liked to see him just run the Ville and just laying houses down in the woodline or something. I don't know why I always say that. Maybe that's like really, really bad thing to do. It's really frowned upon, but it's, I feel like, a wise decision to do in this situation. But Lojza is up now. He seems to have almost 10 villagers ahead, 8 villagers ahead it seems. Viper is up as well, or clicked up. I did notice Viper got heavy plow earlier. He also got the stone shaft mining earlier as well. Just little things, the upgrades, the timings of it could pay off. Does Lojza have a castle yet? Lojza does not have a castle yet. He's actually... Where's he going to place this castle? He's placing it up over here. So Viper seems to have the edge with the production of Woad Raiders. In fact, he's pushing out now. I don't think it'll be in time, but wouldn't it be interesting if he would already be over here and stopping this castle? He is going to put another castle over here, and they usually put the castles in the same spot. Viper definitely having the edge with the military lead. Will he have the edge in the upgrades and the trebs? Looks like chainmail armor already coming in for Lojza, so no upgrades for Viper. He's just getting forging now. But Lojza is building his castles out on this side. Or at least he's built one here. He's built his houses randomly here, I think, maybe so the trebs will, or buildings or whatever, will have to run into them first. As Lojza is pushing out to the stone, he's trying to suck up all the stone, and oh, he's gotten loom. I got so excited because the wolves were there. Dang it. Alright, but yeah, there's a pause. So with the pause, I think Viper has a slight edge with the military production. However, is he going to have an edge with the upgrades? Because just looking at Lojza, he is creating his own Woad Raiders. And he does have chainmail coming in now. He's going to be able to get a second castle shortly. He will also be able to get, I think, Elite Woad Raider a little bit earlier, but it's sometimes down to the numbers. Viper, he has the second castle already. Is he going to have his third? And also keep in mind, he'll get the trebs in as well. It's really hard to tell at this point, guys. It's going to come down to some big fights, and this will not be a long game. This will be a game that will end fast. Once the upgrades come in, once the fights come in, Viper has forging. He's getting scale mail armor now. I'm not sure about the pauses as Viper is just killing these houses and siege workshops. Now keep in mind, it's not a huge deal. We do have 2 relics for Viper, 3 for Lojza. The other golds are on the left-hand sides here. Viper seems to have them, and there is one on the right, and it looks like Lojza actually has a stone on the right as well. That's about it. It's probably going to speed up after what looks to be a small pause. That'll be about it there. We do have trebs and Woad Raiders coming out now from Viper. And, oh, Viper over here now. He's found the castles. Is he going to stop any of these villagers from collecting stone? I do not know. What's Lojza doing? How many castles does he have? Oh, he's building the castles in his base now. And this is an interesting position due to the fact that the trebs are coming out from Viper. And I wish this wasn't so laggy, but I really can't do anything about it because it's catching up from a pause. Lojza, I think, put this castle here just to protect the stone. Right now, if you look at the castle numbers, Lojza is going to be ahead in a moment's time because he will get this one up. The pause should fix in a moment's time, though. Unless they paused again, I really have no clue. But Elite Woad Raiders coming in for both players. Honestly, just looking, I think Lojza is ahead in the upgrades. I gotta find a Woad Raider from him. Actually, no. They're going to be on level terms with upgrades for a moment, as Iron Casting will be coming in for Lojza in a couple seconds. But for now, they're on level terms. Look for the bird, huh? Yep, there's no bird. Sorry. No bird today. That would have been funny, though. I need to actually upload that, a game with that. I don't know if I have a game uploaded with that and saved. A bit of a pause again. Definitely didn't end. Definitely did not end. It's just a pause. So let's look at the positioning. We have castles here from Viper. I think it's best. I thought it was stupid, but I've watched enough of these now. I think it's best to put your castles in the same spot. So you can regroup the trebs and the Woad Raiders a lot faster. And Viper's somewhat doing that. This one, I think he's putting more forward just to protect his trebs and to protect the golds. Now, Lojza, this one, I guess, is a good position because it's on the stone here. Also, this one, because Woad Raiders would have come in, it's pretty much outside his walls. These are probably in a better position for production of units. And he could also, of course, create one shortly because he does have enough stone villagers. But if you look at Lojza's stone, he has 600 stone. He's just finishing what will be his 3rd castle, and he'll get a 4th one up. While Viper, he's about to start creating his 3rd. And he's not anywhere near having the stone for his 4th. So as far as castles go, I think Lojza's ahead. Not to mention he has a lot more villagers as well. But it will come down to the fights. It will come down to the upgrades. Lojza just seems to have a small edge. Remember, he did go up to the TCs earlier. And finally, do we have life? We do. Viper's going for the gate. Does he see the castles? No, I would have liked to have seen him bring the trebs up a little bit further and just scouted out the castles. But he's going to try and be the aggressor here and push up, as he does have Elite Woad Raider now. He doesn't have that many on stone that I can see, so he's not going to have the castles near as fast as Lojza here. Lojza, in my opinion, should just go for more and more castles, more and more Woad Raiders. The Woad Raiders are coming in from Viper, and look at the quick wall from Lojza. This is why I thought he was putting the houses here. We'll get another house up on this side. He's going to put houses all along his castles, and Viper sees that's happening, and he's going to go back. And again, it must have paused multiple times, so this lagginess I can't actually fix. I haven't touched anything, so it's not on my end. We'll get the military numbers from Lojza here. It might not look like he has a lot, but when he groups them together, it will be great. I must be... Oh, wow. Finally, it looks great when the lag fixes. I was going to say they must be having some internet issues, but Lojza, he seems to be producing out of his castles, but now finally Viper, he is attacking this castle with his trebs. He's found them, and he has a lot of numbers. He really does have a lot of numbers. Viper, does he have all the upgrades? Well, actually, he does not have +2, and he does not have Blast Furnace, which will be +4, and Lojza will have that. But look at the number difference. I favor Viper with the numbers, also with the reproduction here as well. Viper, he's trying to patrol this, and it was a weird patrol. Both these players said 11 because they saw it as a weird patrol from Viper, and the trebs will go down really quickly once the Woad Raiders get close. Who's going to win this fight? I'm just selecting the units from Viper, and Viper's winning that in a huge way. Look at this, 40 military for Viper, 15 for Lojza, and still 2 trebs for Viper. Viper's up 2-0 already, guys, so this is going to be huge. Just the military numbers for Viper is the big deal right now, as 2 castles have just gone down in the blink of an eye from Lojza. Wow. Wow, Lojza is behind in castle numbers already. That was huge. I didn't think this game would last long, and at this rate, Lojza is going to have to do an awful lot, and Viper's on the right-hand side with some Woad Raiders. He's doing some raiding. He's stopping this gold and stone from coming in. Is doing a fantastic job, and it's really going to be hard for Lojza now. He's going to try and come in and pick off these trebs, and he might just get one, you know, but he's not going to be able to really stop this unless he pushes this back. Viper is just missing +4 on his loads. I think now would probably be the time to make trebs, and he has 2 queued up. He also could probably go for another castle as well over on this area just to be safe. But he's bringing his Woad Raiders over here now, and he's getting Blast Furnace, which is just the only upgrade he needed to catch up to Lojza. He's sending the treb out, and this is an interesting decision as his army is over here. He's going to try and raid, or is he going to send his units back? Because Lojza is going to see this treb, and he's instantly going to notice there's no army there, and he's probably going to run and try and engage it. But no, Viper, I don't know if he was just faking out. He's sending a couple Woad Raiders to kill these villas. Oh, woo 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 woo, the wolves, yeah, they're going to try and claim some lives. The Elite Woad Raiders are there trading some eco. Lojza is going in with just a small amount of Woad Raiders. This time, I don't think the trebs will actually go down, though. Maybe 1, not 2 of them. Look how fast they go down. Holy crap. 1 will... Oh, it's on 6 HP. It is on 6 HP. Viper, I don't know if you can say time that to perfection, but it really worked out for him. And good rating from Viper. Viper now actually has the villager lead, and when we had that small pause, he did not. He was behind, and the production of military for Viper has been huge. But look at the amount of loads from Lojza. The only issue for him is he can't stop 2 trebuchets from taking out his entire eco. Viper's at 200 pop and 4k gold. And I think it's time we finally mention it before it happens. Viper has an extraordinary ability to win games after losing big fights. And that could happen. Lojza, he might have more military here, and he could win a fight, but Viper just stockpiles resources and can reproduce very quickly. Lojza's going to be very quick, very sneaky here, try and pick off these trebs. Viper, he's going to try and clear out these units, though, and the poor trebuchets, they're so slow. They really can't run that fast, and Viper's going to almost have to use them as a meat shield to take a big fight, as Lojza's going to not want to take a fight. But look at the amount of Woad Raiders. 70 military from Viper, 78 from Lojza. So many Woad Raiders out on the map right now. Both players fighting for this gold on this side, because there's limited gold. Absolutely insane, guys, the amount of military out on the map. Lojza's going for heavy Scorpion. Wow, that is an interesting choice. Viper's going in. This heavy scorpion upgrade has not come in, but you know what Viper saw? One scorpion. That's all he needed to see. And now it's going to be interesting to see how Viper reacts to this, because look at his resources. He has a lot of resources. He's going for... Oh, no. Are you kidding me? He's going to go for Siege Onager? He has to be. He's going for Onager now. Wow. And you know what? I prefer Siege Onager over Heavy Scorpion. And also, I really... Oh, is he raiding as well? Do I hear raiding? Where do I hear villagers dying? Somewhere. I hear villagers dying. I'm not sure. But regardless, Siege Onagers can get huge shots on Woad Raiders as well if they're microed correctly. It's going to be really interesting. I felt like I heard a couple of vills dying, but it couldn't have been substantial, so my apologies for going all over the map. Now, let me... Oh, there's a pause, so I can't actually check the relic gold, but I guess I could do it this way for you. It's not a huge deal at this point, though, guys. It's 300 gold. So, relics, even when there's any... At 40 minutes, it's not a big deal. Once you hit maybe an hour and 20 minutes, then it's a big deal. And also, keep in mind, Viper has 2 of them. So, Lojza having 3, Viper having 2, it's not a huge difference here. But Onagers come in for Viper. And you're right, Hardy. You probably did delete some bills. We have Siege Onager coming in now, and the Siege Onager shots could be real, guys. And Viper, of course, lost a lot of units. A lot of units to MBL's Siege Onagers. Maybe he's going to kill a lot of units of Lojza's. Now, it's not going to be as easy, because these Woad Raiders, as you can see, are very mobile, very quick, and not as easy to go down to Siege Onagers, but if you get enough of them and you get a good enough of an attack round, it can really be nice. Again, Lojza pushing out on this side. He does have the Heavy Scorpions, and Heavy Scorpions, of course, are a fantastic unit against infantry. Woad Raiders probably aren't the easiest victim, though, as they can get the heck out of dodge pretty quick. And we have Viper going in here. Could Lojza trap him? Lojza's going to run in. He's going to try and trap him, but yeah, Viper's going to run back. This is getting really late gamey, if that's a word, really late gamey. Viper is pop capped, 127 vills. Viper is content, I've said it before, but he is content to just stay with less military somewhat and try and win some fights with the military he has. And the Onagers or Siege Onagers are paying off in a big way. Look at the amount of military he's picking off. But will the Scorpions pay off for Lojza here? It's hard to tell. There's a lot of them, and they are behind for Lojza, but it just looks like the Siege Onagers got some big shots. And also, the Scorpions just have no meat shield now, and the Scorpions have minimum range. Oh man, Viper has so much food and gold. He will clear these Scorpions out so quick. Look at the military numbers for Lojza. Also, I would probably guess that his resources really suck as well in comparison to Viper, as he's pushing out with this one Siege Onager and clearing out so many Scorpions. Viper is pushing this back in a huge way. He has so many elite Woad Raiders. He's just lacking the siege now to push this back. He has a lot of Siege Onagers. Clearing out the Scorpions. You know what? The Siege Onager choice was a much wiser decision now that you see this. I mean, much better choice, Ben. There you go. You hear the the Trebs. And he's going to send the Trebs out. He's going to aim for the castles for sure, because the castles are producing the Woad Raiders. If you lose the castles, you lose the Woad Raiders, and Lojza needs to hold on to it, but he doesn't have the military numbers here. The Siege Onagers could just clear out his army in the blink of an eye. And it's not looking good. Also, Viper, of course, just running his Siege Onagers to the right-hand side and allowing these Woad Raiders to run to their death. Lojza is really in a bad spot here. The Scorpion's trying to save his life. And... oh man, the Trebs taking out one castle. He's gonna pack up more Trebs. Viper's still stockpiling so many resources. We have the Siege Onagers pushing in. They will clear out the Heavy Scorpions, not to mention that the Scorpions' minimum range. Viper clearing out a couple of his own Woad Raiders, but it does not matter, guys. It does not matter. That's game 3, and Viper on the verge of sweeping Lojza in the final best of 7. Wow. Wow, what a game. That was a really nice game, and Viper, he played it to perfection. Like, it was so well played, honestly. It was so well played. Lojza, I thought he had a huge advantage. He had what? Castle here, 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 here. He had like 6 castles at one point, and they just all kept going down. And going heavy Scorpion was a just stupid move in hindsight. It just did not look good at all. I think had he gone into Siege Onager himself, it would have been a much better fight for him. Either way, credit to Viper for that game.